There's a Warwick video.
I told you this was a bad deal, man.
Shut up and move.
Which way?
Over here.
Oh shit. Here comes Warwick.
I see it! I see it! We're almost there, man! Let's go! I'm sorry!
Oh my god. Oh shit. What does that mean? Oh. Oh shit.
Come on!
He ulted to get to him. Warwick is a monster who hunts the great alleys of Zaun. Transformed by agonizing experiments, his body is fused with an intricate system of chambers and pumps, machinery filling his veins with an alchemical rage. Bursting out of the shadows, he preys upon those criminals who terrorize the city's depths. Warwick is drawn to blood and driven mad by its scent. None who spill it can escape him. Warwick, the uncaged wrath of Zaun. Warwick is a monster who hunts the great alleys of Zaun. Transformed by agonizing experiments, his body is fused with an intricate system of chambers and pumps, machinery filling his veins with alchemical rage. Bursting out of the shadows, he preys upon those criminals who terrorize the city's depths. Warwick is drawn to blood and driven mad by its scent. None who spill it can escape him. Though many think of Warwick as no more than a beast, buried beneath the fury lies the mind of a man, a gangster who put down his blade and took up a new name to live a better life. But no matter how hard he tried to move on, he could never escape the sins of his past. Memories of that time come to Warwick in flashes before they're inevitably lost, replaced by searing echoes of the days he spent strapped to a table in Singe's lab. The mad chemist's face looming above him, his world a haze of pain. Warwick cannot recall how he fell into Singe's grasp, and even struggled to remember a time before the suffering began. The scientists patiently carved into him, installing pumps and hoses to inject chemicals into his veins, seeking what an alchemist always seeks: transmutation. Singed would reveal his subject's true nature, the deadly beast hidden within a good man. The chemicals pumped into Warwick's veins boosted his healing, allowing Singe to gradually and painfully reshape the man. When his hand was severed in the course of the experiment, Singed was able to reattach it, augmenting it with powerful pneumatic claws and bringing Warwick ever closer to his true potential. A chemical chamber was installed on Warwick's back and integrated with his nervous system. Whenever he felt rage or hate or fear, it would drive liquid fury deeper into his veins, fully awakening the beast. He was forced to endure it all. Every cut of the mad chemist's scalpel, pain Singed assured his subject was necessary. It would prove to be the great catalyst of his transformation. Though the chemicals enabled Warwick's body to heal through most of the physical damage, his mind was shattered by the unending agony. Warwick struggled to recall a single memory from his past. All he could see was blood, but then he heard a little girl screaming something he couldn't understand, and it sounded like a name. He'd already forgotten his. He sensed that was for the best. Pain soon overwhelmed all other thoughts. Blood was the only thing left. Though his body and mind were broken after weeks on the slab, Warwick stubbornly resisted the chemicals transmuting him. Toxins leaked from his eyes in place of tears. He coughed up gobs of caustic phlegm that sizzled against his chest before burning shallow holes in the floor of the lab. Restrained against the cold steel of the table, Warwick writhed in agony for hours on end until his body finally gave out. With the untimely death of his subject, Singe disposed of the corpse in a charnel pit deep in Zaun's sump before turning his mind to the next experiment. But death proved to be the true catalyst needed for Warwick's transformation. As he lay cooling atop the pile of corpses, the chemicals could finally complete their work. The chamber on his back began to pump. His body contorted unnaturally, bones bending and snapping, teeth growing, sinews tearing, and the healing with a faint alchemical glow. Dead flesh replaced by something new and powerful. By the time his heart started beating once again, the man Warwick had been and the lives he'd lived were gone. He awoke to hunger. Everything hurt. Only one thing mattered. He needed blood. First, it was the blood of a nearby sump scrapper rooting through the charnel pile, and then a priestess of the glorious evolved, seeking a member of her flock. Then a Piltovan, a Prenta, taking a shortcut, and a filter-faced merchant avoiding a gang, and a dram dealer, and a tallyman, and a chempunk. He set up a den not far from a place that itched at the back of his now animal mind. There he continued the slaughter, not caring who fell to his claws, so long as blood dripped from gnashing teeth. He would feel nothing but a smear of red on his conscience, the hunger in his gut overwhelming any concern for his random victims. Yet, even as he surrendered to the beasts, glimpses of his past began to haunt him. He saw a bearded man reflected in the eyes of a beggar as he tore out his throat. The other man looked somber, somehow familiar. There were scars on his arms. Sometimes as he fed in dark alleys on stray gangers, the flash of knives would remind him of an old blade covered in blood. Blood passing from the blade to his hands, from his hands to everything he touched. Sometimes he remembered the girl again. And still, there was blood. It had always been there, he realized, his entire life, and nothing he did could wash it off. He left so many scars that even if he didn't remember his past, the city would. When he peered into the eyes of Zaun's criminals, the gang bosses, murderers, and thieves, he saw himself. The chamber on his back would fill his body with hate. His claws tore out of his fingers. He hunted. No longer content to kill indiscriminately, Warwick now pursues those already covered in the stench of blood, just as he was the day he was dragged to Singe's door. He still wonders if he truly wanted this. He can't remember details, but he remembers enough to know Singed had been right all along. The good man had been a lie before disaster had burned it away, revealing the truth. He is Warwick. He is a killer, and there are so many killers to hunt. Dun dun dun. Okay. Okay. If they run. I find her near the black lanes where merchants and thieves do business. Anything is for sale. Everything is stolen. I could kill them all. Do they think the shadows hide their misdeeds? The glim of their knives? The deals they make, shrouded in darkness? I can smell the shimmer wine on a beggar's breath from across this wretched city. I know their crimes. I can taste them. Then I see her. She's taken a message from one of Baron Spinlow's men, the lump-faced one, all scars and scowl, and place it into a pneuma tube. He mutters instructions to her. Who knew the dog could even speak, let alone write a message? I've only heard his scream. The last time we met, I took his leg. Its replacement is already rusted. The cogs clink as they pass from the thug's meaty hand into the girl's. I can smell the blood on the gear-shaped coins, the pain that passes from person to person. If you want something in the city, it doesn't matter how many cogs you have. Pain is the true currency. I remember a man who knew this, the blood and cogs on his hands. But that man is gone. I growl, and the two figures flinch in surprise. Even the shadows seem to draw back as my augments cast a sickly green glow. The girl takes one look and flees, but not deeper into the alley. She's a pneuma tube runner. She clambers up into the darkness, taking a path few can follow. Afraid. Fast, but vulnerable. Carrying a pneuma tube with a Chem Baron seal, the gangers will come for her. She's perfect. I begin the hunt. We move so quickly. The city is a blur, my claws cutting through the smoke, scrabbling for perches as I leap across rooftops, following the pneuma tube runner, carving a path so deep through the city it seems to bleed Chemtech, toxic puddles gathering in the alleys. She tries to double back, skittering beneath a cart full of tinctures. She knows the city almost as well as I do. She knows where I'm driving her. Away from Sanctuary, toward a place all the runners fear, where only the Zao Gray escapes. I need to remind her to be more afraid of me than what lies in the darkness. I land ahead of her, roaring with rage, my claws tearing a chunk out of a steam conduit. She hesitates, but only for a moment before turning back into the depths, where I need her to run. I can hear the gasps of effort as she scrambles up walls and slides down railings. She's praying to the wind goddess to save her. Perhaps I should do the same. The animal inside me wants more than murder. It wants meat. I could kill her right now. It would be so easy. I feel my claws emerging, greedy for flesh. I forget why I should spare her until I draw closer, close enough to see my reflection in her eyes as she stumbles on a ledge and looks back. Her eyes brim with tears. It's all so familiar. I pull back and howl into the darkness, driving the girl forward. She drops down into a maze of pipes built for the ancient pneuma system. I follow behind her, hanging back as she reaches the dead end. The girl thinks I'm going to kill her, that her pale throat is the reason I bare my teeth, but she is only the bait. This is where she'll lure out my true prey, those who prey on her. Well, well, look what fell out of the gray, says a ganger emerging from the darkness. He and his friends surround the girl, their blades catching what little light survives in these depths. I recognize their tattered rags. The gray nails. A dead man once had dealings with them. There was another girl. I shake away the memories. I don't want them. I know you, says one of the nails, her face ringed by piercings. You run for Boggin, eh? On a Spinlow's mugs. What's that Crovan psycho gotta say that you don't want us to hear? She pokes the pneuma tube with her dagger and smiles. Please, you don't understand. The girl sobs, scanning the great darkness behind her and trying to rush past. Neither do you, the first ganger says. We're gonna have some fun. I hesitate as the thug knocks the pneuma tube from the girl's hands. It's worth more cogs than their own lives. It's their ticket out of this miserable pit to a slightly less miserable one. I thought the pneuma tube would distract them for the moment I needed. It cracks against the alley stones, spin low sealed broken. What have I done? The runner cries out as Neil grabs her roughly. There's a struggle, a flash of steel, and then blood. It enrages me. The chamber on my back pumps, and I'm lost. A roar fills the darkness. It's him, the Howler! A gray nail cries out as I race into the clearing, trying to focus on the punk. I slash into him, and the alley wall steams red mist. He crumbles to the stones. Where is the girl? I've lost track of the mayhem, surrounded, blades stabbing like clumsy teeth, claws a metal blur, jaws clamp down, and bones crack along with armor. I taste blood, and still there's more. See her now. One of the nails hovers above the girl, his shiv raised. I can stop him, but the machine pumps again, and my limbs surge with power. The red haze fills my mind. Everything is a blur. Everything is forgotten. Everything is blood. I don't know if I saved the girl. I don't know if I killed her. I'm still biting through flesh when the surviving nails flee into the darkness. I turn, following them into the night. I have no choice. They are the monsters I hunt, and I am one of them. Damn, so Warwick was a good guy. Singed was a fucking madman, okay? A madman who just experimented on whoever he liked and put this good man in this evil rage of fury, chemicals pumping into his system. But he can't control it, yo.